Hello Splinter Cell fans on YouTube, you're watching Splinter Cell Classics Episode 5. I know, it's about fucking time.
So Zerkezi and Morgenholt are the only two people who ever saw those algorithms.
And Morgenholt is dead, and Zerkezi is connected to a mystery guest we know nothing about.
Dvorak.
Morgenholt and Zerkezi are geeks, not terrorists. Maybe this Dvorak is some kind of puppeteer.
No hitter, bottom of the 8th.
2-0, New York in the 8th. Akira Watanabe is on the mound. He's pure concentration, pure focus.
This is no coincidence. You're on your way to the Big Apple.
Fisher, the National Guard was deployed into Manhattan about an hour ago.
I feel safer already.
Watch your fire, Sam. Those boys aren't expecting to see you and they'll attack on sight. Do not, I repeat, do not kill any of them.
I'll be careful.
Good.
So yesterday I finished recording the gameplay for this video, and after I edited out all the bits and pieces where I screwed up and where I didn't know where I was supposed to go exactly, I ended up with a 30-minute video. So I thought to myself, what the hell am I gonna talk about for half an hour? I mean, who would want to listen to me ramble about something for half an hour? But, you know, then again I thought to myself, a lot of people who watch this series told me that they really enjoy watching it. I guess that people just enjoy watching videos about old video games they love. In the same way they love talking about those things, they also enjoy listening to other people talk about them, because it just sort of brings them back to the good old days when they used to enjoy it so much. Now I'm going to try and keep this commentary as interesting as possible. If you watch the previous videos in the Splinter Cell Classic series, then you know that I don't really like talking the whole time, so at certain points I'm going to shut up and let you enjoy some of the scenery and the atmosphere of the game. And given that this is a mission from Splinter Cell Chaos Theory, the atmosphere of the game is truly amazing, so I really wouldn't want to take away the possibility for you guys to just enjoy the atmosphere in particular moments of the level. And speaking of the level, this is the New York level from Chaos Theory. There's actually two levels taking place in New York, if I'm not mistaken. This one and the Displace International level, which comes right after this one. But out of the two New York levels, I like this one much better. We really don't get to see much of the city throughout the level, but at certain points you can hear sirens and, you know, just the city commotion in the background, which lets you know that you're in a really, really big city.
I'll see if I can hit
And
your
I guess it
ride.
just kind of makes up for the lack of classic New York City scenery. Now I gotta admit that I actually had to play the level a few times before I actually could record it, because to be honest with you, I haven't really been playing a lot of Splinter Cell in the past year, so I really got out of the mechanics of the game. I played the bank mission, which was actually recorded as the level for Splinter Cell Classics Episode 3, if I'm not mistaken, but rather than that, I really haven't been playing a lot of Splinter Cell, so it took me maybe an hour or so to actually get back into the mechanics of the game, and it's really not hard to get back in. It's like riding a bicycle, because the game is just like that, you know, the controls just stick somewhere in your mind, and even if you forget how to play for a moment, it really comes back to you really quick. Now regarding the gameplay, in this particular part of the mission in this elevator, there's actually a hatch on the top that you can use to actually climb on the top of the elevator, and then you can use a ladder to climb up. And then once the elevator starts working, it starts catching up on you, and it's a really cool scene, but I couldn't record it for you guys because I just couldn't jump. Every time I would jump, it would alert the guard that was working on the elevator, who was actually fixing it in the first place, and I could never grab onto the hatch and climb up, so after a few tries, I actually gave up on that, so I just sat tight in the elevator, waited for it to start working again so I can progress, but in the end, I was sad that I couldn't include that awesome scene in the video, but hey, that's life. But besides that, I actually had another much bigger difficulty while making this gameplay footage. I don't know, it's almost like some sort of unwritten rule that every time I record a Splinter Cell Classic video that I'm supposed to have some sort of technical difficulty. So I guess it's just a must, but I actually played the whole level till the end, and when I exited out of the game back to my desktop, I noticed that the video recorder wasn't even working, so nothing was recorded. So of course I had to do it again. Thankfully, the next time I played the level, I was actually much better, so maybe it's not a bad thing after all. And speaking of playing it better the next time around, this particular part of the mission, I did much better the next time I played it. The first time I went through this part, there was a big fight. All the guards noticed me once I walked into the light. I remember back in the day when I used to play this mission, I didn't really like this section because I knew what I had to do to go through it without touching any guards, but sometimes it would work and sometimes it just wouldn't. So out of frustration, I guess I would just take out one guard just to be sure they won't spot me, but this time I was lucky they didn't see me.
And in the neighboring structure.
Any plans or blueprints on file?
I'll have Grim look into it, but with this blackout.
I understand. I'll see if I can dig up some plans down here.
Good idea.
Let me just tone it down here a bit just so you can enjoy this atmosphere.
Fisher, that's a hired gun if I've ever seen one.
He's no night watchman either. He's a merc. He's got the same kit as the guys who were protecting Lacerda.
This whole situation is getting uglier by the second. See if you can find out who these characters work for.
Will do.
I just love this whole situation right here. I mean, the feeling that I get in this type of atmosphere is the sole reason why I actually started the Splinter Cell Classic series in the first place. I just love this. And very soon we're gonna have a interrogation scene, and we all know how fun interrogations are in Splinter Cell Chaos Theory.
What are you doing down here?
Who the hell?
Off to a bad start. Talk or die.
Okay. We're on VIP protection. This floor. We need to secure it because we can't lock it off from the penthouse.
Does the architect or engineer keep an office or a desk down here?
Yeah, of course. West side of the building.
Since you're doing so well, why don't you tell me the name of the PMC you work for?
I work for Displace. Displace International.
Displace? That's Doug Shetland's company.
I know.
Fisher, if Shetland turns out to be crooked...
If Shetland is crooked, I'll take him down myself. But I have a feeling there's more to it than that.
Could be. See if you can find out who's in charge of this protection detail. Maybe someone inside Displace is playing both sides.
You got it.
So if you've played Splinter Cell Chaos Theory and Splinter Cell Pandora Tomorrow, then you know who Douglas Shetland is. He's an old close friend of Sam Fisher's, and in this particular moment of Chaos Theory, we begin to suspect that Douglas Shetland may be crooked. Of course, in the end, spoiler alert, he is. He's actually one of the main antagonists of the whole installment. So pretty soon we're going to have another moment that will perfectly depict the atmosphere of Chaos Theory. Right here we're going to have a very, very close encounter, and as this guard moves closer to us, the music starts getting more intense.
All clear.
This is just awesome. I mean, I remember holding my breath back in the day in these types of situations. Now, in the Splinter Cell Classic series, we actually spend a lot of time talking about the good old days of Splinter Cell. But right now, I actually want to talk about what is to come when it comes to Splinter Cell, because recently certain information emerged on the internet that suggests that we were right when we said that a new Splinter Cell game is in the works, but this recent information not only suggests that a new Splinter Cell game is in the works, but that Sam Fisher will be brought to life by none other than the great Michael Ironside.
I'll check it out.
Now, since I'm making a new Splinter Cell related video,
The next
in this
building.
particular moment in time, I really can't do it without mentioning this, but you know, you guys, I'm really done with making predictions on the new Splinter Cell game. If you follow my channel on a regular basis, then you're familiar with the fact that I already made 2 videos in which I talked about the possible release date for the new Splinter Cell game, what it's going to be about, in which I also talked about whether Michael Ironside will or will not be
I'll try and run
in the
some
new
tags.
installment. And I'll be completely honest with you guys, as much as it pains me to say, but
Keep my eyes
my
open.
predictions weren't really that accurate when it comes to the new Splinter Cell game. I mean, first off, in 2015, I was certain that we would see at least a teaser trailer for Splinter Cell 7 at E3, but of course, as you know, we didn't see any trailer or introduction. Same thing happened at E3 2016. Again, we had absolutely no news on Splinter Cell 7. In other predictions, I talked about how I highly doubted that Michael Ironside will be back in the 7th installment of Splinter Cell. But now that we have this new speculative information, it turns out that I might be wrong when it comes to that as well. But like I already said, I mean, it's really hard for me to make uneducated predictions, especially when there's no or very little information, like in the case of Splinter Cell 7.
You. How long have you been with this place?
3 months. I just got transferred up from Peru. I was on the VIP detail down there.
Ah, so you're already, in the loop.
Yeah, me and, well, you know, we go way back.
Well, stick with us. We know how to get things done.
I know. Like I say, we go way back.
Right.
But regarding the most recent information on the new Splinter Cell game, before I say anything, I really have to say that even this is not concrete information, it's just speculative stuff, so it really has to be taken with a grain of salt, or maybe even, like I read in an article online, a teaspoon of salt, because this is just he said, she said stuff. So basically what we have right now is a post on a particular online forum in which somebody said that they know a guy who saw Michael Ironside on set for his new movie, in which Michael Ironside said that he was working on a new Splinter Cell game. So allegedly, Michael Ironside personally stated that he was working on a new Splinter Cell game, and to give this whole story some more credibility, the person who posted this on an online forum stated how he usually has very reliable sources when it comes to projects in Ubisoft. So this would be amazing news if it was only official, but you know, apparently the person who posted this information online stated that they had very, very reliable information on other projects in Ubisoft, which turned out to be true in the end. Now, if you're gonna ask me what I think about the whole situation, you know, I can only say that I really hope it's true. I really don't want to make any more predictions. I don't want to talk about whether I think this information is fake or if it's real. I think it's good news, and even though it's unofficial, you know, we have something to hold on to because we have so little information on new Splinter Cell games that whenever we get certain speculations, you know, we get really hyped up. And right now, I have to admit that I'm kind of hyped up because thinking that a new Splinter Cell game is being made while we're talking, it's just amazing, you know, it makes me look forward to the new game even more, and I truly do hope that we'll see it sometime, maybe by the end of 2017 or 2018. I would really hope so that we would see it at least by 2018, because in that case, at least one of my predictions would turn out to be right. Now, I don't know if you guys can tell. Those of you who played Pandora Tomorrow probably can, but the music in the background right now is the same from the Paris level. I think it's the second level of Pandora Tomorrow. And it's only in this particular room, in this level. Man, I really do love this level. I love the music in the background, but I especially love the moments when it's just quiet. Like right now, for example. Listen to this. The music in this game is so perfectly done. Like when you're in a room where there are a lot of threats, then you can hear the music, and as a guard starts approaching you, the music gets more dramatic, like we were able to see earlier in this video. But when you enter a empty room, like the one we're in right now, then the music just stops. And it just gives you that feeling of stealth. It's sort of a lonely feeling maybe, but it's so soothing.
Gotcha.
Who?
Dvorak.
Where is he?
According to this, he's in the building next door. You can get there across the rooftop through the magnetically locked doors.
How do I get through the doors?
They're not magnetically locked anymore.
Thanks for the help.
So earlier in the video, I mentioned how the interrogations in Chaos Theory are really cool. And in this particular level, there are some really dope interrogation scenes, but while playing this particular level, in this occasion, I really tried to leave as many guards that I could, so I didn't really grab or knock out many of them. These two are going down, as you'll be able to see. Unfortunately, I didn't interrogate them, but there's actually a really cool scene right here that we won't be able to see, but basically what happens is Sam Fisher grabs a guy, and in order to scare the shit out of him, he tells him to pick a number from 1 to 100, or was it from 1 to 10? I really can't remember. So the guy just, off the top of his head, chooses one number, and then Sam just says,
"Lucky guess. Now tell me something useful or we'll play again."
Yeah, well, he doesn't really sound like that, you know, but at least I tried. And you know, while we're on the topic, interrogations aren't just for funsies in this game at all. You know, you got a lot of cool interrogations that, you know, just give you a laugh. But in some cases, you actually have to interrogate guards in order to get certain information. Now, sometimes this information will help you to enter a locked door more easier without having to lockpick it or without having to hack it, because the guard will give you a particular code. But as you'll be able to see in a few minutes, in this particular mission, we're actually going to have to retrieve some information by interrogating the guards, because if you didn't know, an optional objective in this mission is to find out who's in charge of VIP protection in this whole penthouse area that we see in this level. And we're going to do it by interrogating a guard, like I said. So, you know, interrogations are actually a very important factor in Splinter Cell Chaos Theory, not just for fun, but sometimes to actually achieve that 100% score at the end of each level. Now, unfortunately, I was a little too trigger happy and quick to take these guys out, so we won't hear an interrogation just now, but we will in just a few moments.
Good work on the cameras, Sam. We'll have guys watching Zerkezi 24/7.
Always happy to keep the donut dippers busy.
This is also one of my favorite quotes from this level. Always happy to keep the donut dippers busy. Of course, Sam is referring to the cops, which he obviously, at least judging by his sarcastic remark right here, doesn't really have much respect for. Again, we can hear the city ambience noise in the background with the sirens and all. Now, if I knocked these guys out earlier, then this part here would have been much quicker right now. But of course, it's always a challenge to leave as many guards standing as possible. But I don't know, I for one was never one of those players who would leave everyone standing. I would always have to knock down a few guards, at least for fun. You know, I was always the Panther type of player, even before Panther was a official gameplay style in Splinter Cell. And of course, as we all know, that happened in the latest installment, Splinter Cell Blacklist.
Stay quiet. It's a long way down to the street.
Oh, God, please don't.
Sounds to me like you know who's in charge of VIP protection here.
Yeah, it's Nedich. Mylon Nedich.
Was he in charge of the protection detail on Morganholt in Peru as well?
Yeah, Mylon handles all displaced VIP protection contracts.
Well, he's not very good at it, is he?
Please don't throw me off this roof.
Wouldn't dream of it.
Mylon Nedich. Echelon's got nothing. He doesn't even exist.
Well, whoever he is, he's playing both sides. We need to inform Shetland.
No can do, Sam. We can't compromise OPSEC for private interests.
Fine. If I find Nedich, it'll be less of a problem.
Admirable of you to protect your friend, but...
You said he doesn't exist. I'm just correcting a bureaucratic error.
So again, we have Doug Shetland's name being mentioned, and Sam Fisher so eagerly wants to believe that he's still one of the good guys, but, you know, if you played the game, then you know he's not. And the scene in which they actually face each other off is one of the most awesome moments of Splinter Cell history, in my opinion. If you watched my video on the top 10 moments in Splinter Cell history, then you know that I actually listed that moment as number 3 in the countdown, and it's really awesome. It has a lot of philosophy, and it brings up a lot of moral and ethical questions. It's one of those moments that you can really debate about, but of course, I don't want to get all political in this video, so I'm not going to do that. And that particular scene takes place in a level that, in my opinion, is one of the most difficult levels in the whole Splinter Cell gaming franchise. Now, speaking of difficulty, the Penthouse mission in New York isn't really that hard. I mean, there are certain parts in the level where I took out some guards, but I don't know, I think I just did it for security or for funsies. I don't know. You have to take some out in order to get information, but I could think of like 100 ways I could have passed by those guards without touching them. So this mission isn't really that hard. It's fun. It has a really great atmosphere, but I really couldn't say that it's one of the harder missions in Splinter Cell. Don't worry, I'm not gone. I just wanted to let you hear that theme music in the background. I really like paying attention to those types of things. After all, playing Chaos Theory and not enjoying the background music and the ambient sounds would be like going to Paris and not seeing the Eiffel Tower. And now, as you can hear, the music is toning down because we're finally about to accomplish the main objective of this mission and find out who or what the fuck Dvorak is. So now I'm gonna leave you while Sam Fisher talks to this lovely old gentleman.
You must be Dvorak.
Well, Dvorak, huh? I had thought this area was, well, off limits.
You're not Dvorak.
Well, since we're being blunt, well, no.
Then who are you?
Such a rush you're in. Fancy some tea, do you?
Lambert, something weird is happening.
I'll say.
What do I do?
The old man seems harmless. Indulge him. See if he knows anything.
Reminds me of poor old Jiggers. Oh, Jiggers. We hardly knew ye.
Who are you? What are you doing here?
Oh, well, one might ask you the same.
I'm looking for a man named Dvorak.
Ah, Dvorak, yes! Well, you're not going to find one. This way! Yes, here we are then. This is Dvorak.
Jesus. I think I just figured out why you couldn't hack in here, Grim.
Yeah, no kidding.
What the hell do I do now?
Hold on while I find a slide rule.
See what the old man knows, Fisher.
Okay. If this is Dvorak, who are you?
I am Dvorak's keeper. Thank you most kindly for asking.
And what is this Dvorak?
Dvorak is, well, you likely wouldn't understand.
I'm sure you're right. But let's have it for the record anyway.
Dvorak is a mechanical representation of a self-referential axiom of number theory. Dvorak encodes its own logical structure within its own executable cycle and recursively derives a more accurate representation of itself with each successive execution.
Right. Grim, did you get that?
My god, it's an infinite state machine.
Fine. What do I do?
If Circazi is using this...
Grim.
Sorry, Sam, we're gonna need a copy of Dvorak's output so we can work out the algorithm it's built on.
How do I get its output?
It runs on punch cards.
Punch cards?
You'll need to restart the sequence and initialize each tower in the right order, and then retrieve the output stack.
How do I know the right sequence?
You'll need to hit the switches in order as the tubes start to heat up. Ask the old man for help.
I need your help.
Indeed. What can I help you with, my good fellow?
I need you to help me initialize Dvorak so I can retrieve an output stack.
Ah, Dvorak. Well, that is certainly something I can help with. Why don't you restart it? I'll initialize the towers on this side, and you can do the other side.
So as you're watching this last part of the mission, I really want to take the opportunity to say thank you for watching, and thank you for being here throughout the whole series. I know I don't really make a lot of videos in the series. That's because when I do make these videos, I really want it to be out of fun and out of appreciation towards the game. You know, I really wouldn't feel very comfortable if I made these videos just to supply a demand that is present. And to be honest with you, I really don't think you would enjoy those videos that I would make just because I have to. I really want to enjoy making them, and I really hope you understand why I don't post as many as maybe some of you would like.
Good work, Fisher. Time to make yourself scarce. Get to your primary extraction point.
On my way.
So, like I said, I really want to thank you guys for watching. I really enjoyed making this video, and you can be sure that the next time I post another episode for Splinter Cell Classics, I'm going to enjoy the hell out of that one as well. In the meantime, if we do receive any official information about the new Splinter Cell game, you can also expect for me to make a video about that. But like I said earlier in the video, I really don't want to make any more predictions, so don't expect for me to make any uneducated predictions or speculative videos, because I'm really done doing that. I really do hope you understand. One particular Splinter Cell video that I really am looking forward to is the one that I'm going to be making for the 10-year anniversary of Splinter Cell Double Agent. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. One of my viewers actually asked me about that video the other day. So if you're wondering about the 10-year anniversary video for Double Agent, you can bet your ass that I'm going to make that one. It's going to be something similar like the one for the 10-year anniversary of Splinter Cell Chaos Theory. Hopefully better, because that video is about a year old, and well, in the meantime, I actually grew as a creator. I hope I grew as a creator. I hope I got better. I work on my videos every day to improve my techniques and the way I present these things to you. So yeah, hopefully that video is going to be good and enjoyable for you guys to watch. But anyways, as for this video, I really want to encourage you guys to interact in the comments below. even if I don't participate in the conversations and debates you guys start, I really enjoy reading what you guys have to say. And with that said, I also want to encourage you to stay polite. Don't be rude, because after all, this is a video game we all love and enjoy playing, and rude behavior is just totally unnecessary. So please, try to not be rude. It'll make you so much cooler. But as we approach the very end of this video, I want to thank you guys once again for watching. If you did enjoy the video, please support the channel and leave a like and share the video with anyone you think might find it interesting. If you haven't already, be sure to check out my other Splinter Cell videos, including the other episodes of the Splinter Cell Classic series. But that's going to be all for this time. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay strong.